You're live, Counselor Memhard.
Great, thank you, Sherry. I'd like to welcome everyone to the City of Gloucester's Budget and Finance Subcommittee meeting of September 8th, 2022. My name is Scott Memhard. I'm a Ward 1 Councilor and Budget and Finance Chair. With us is Councilor at Large Tony Gross, who's Vice Chair. We have Councilor Jamie O'Hara at Large, who's joining us today, and we're expecting the arrival of Councilor Worthley, who serves on our committee imminently. And also with us is a recording clerk of committees, Sherry White, City Auditor Kenny Costa, and Fire Chief Eric Smith. Before we get into the meeting agenda, I need to announce that consistent with Chapter 107 of the Acts of 2022, this meeting will be conducted by remote participation. The public may not physically attend this meeting, but every effort will be made to allow the public to view and listen to the meeting in real time and participate when necessary. If you're calling in on a phone, you can press *9 to request to speak. And if you are watching on a computer or device, there's a raised hand button that you can tap to press to request to speak. Please use either of these options to be recognized to speak. And I'd like to welcome Councilor Worthley as well. 5:30, not 6. That's the other subcommittees.
I'm a day late and a dollar short. I thought our meeting would start at 6 o'clock, so I apologize.
So did I, so.
Something in tonight, Tony.
You're living dangerously. Councilor Melissa Cox was just going to jump in on your behalf. She was in Kenny's office.
I think we've been very capable hands if she joined in.
Absolutely. So we just have a few items on the agenda for Budget and Finance this evening, and I'll take them in order. The first being a memorandum from our fire chief and a 2023 SBT3 in the amount of special budgetary transfer number 3 in the amount of $1,194.24. And if Chief Smith, you could present a little bit about the background here.
Yeah, so this is kind of a change, I guess, and Kenny may be able to explain it better if you need it. But you know, we've been doing this since probably before I got here, but certainly since I've been here for all of our background checks for new hire firefighter paramedics. And it's typically been an interdepartmental transfer process. It comes out of our accounts and goes over to the appropriate department, no different than when we teach a CPR class for public health. You know, they transfer the funding over to pay those people that are doing that overtime work, you know, from their budget. So this is a bit different for us doing it through an SBT. And so, you know, it may be a DOR thing. It may be just the accounts that it's coming out of, and it's crossing those lines in this case. So yeah, so it's before you in its proper format and order, and the funding is there, and we need to pay our bills to our friends over there, the police department, that do a great job with the background checks to make sure that our new hire candidates are suitable candidates.
Excellent. Kenny, would you just get into a little bit about why this is out of pattern?
Yeah, sometimes there are interdepartmental reimbursements, like, for example, like police details, but there's a revolving fund. There's typically not a revolving fund for investigations. So I do remember we did see this about a year ago, and we didn't think it was proper. So we did talk to the fire department, and we did ask if we could have a budget transfer, because it is police wages, police services, public safety. So it does belong in the police department because it is a police officer. So we just felt that it's more appropriate to transfer the budget, not the expense, because it's not a fire department expense. It's not a firefighter. So the police should stay in the police budget, and the fire department firefighters should stay in the fire budget. So we just felt that a budget transfer is more appropriate.
Okay, I don't have a problem with that. Do Councilor Gross or Councilor Worthley have any questions for Chief Smith?
None.
That being the case, I'll go ahead and read a motion to recommend that the City Council approve special budgetary transfer 2023 SBT3 in the amount of $1,194.24 from fire purchase of services account number as noted to police uniform overtime account number as noted. And this is for the purpose of reimbursing the police department for background investigation of new hires for the fire department. and I so move.
Second.
Made and seconded. Any further question or discussion? Seeing none. Roll call vote. Counselor Gross,
Yes.
Counselor Worthley,
Yes.
and Counselor Memhard. Yes. Motion passes on a unanimous vote of 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Thank you, Chief Smith, and I hope your guys pass muster.
Yep, they already have. So there'll be actually, unfortunately, there'll be more of this because we're still in the process of trying to get 3 additional vacancies filled and in this market as it's affecting everybody. Yeah, the process continues. So we'll be back, I'm sure.
Excellent. Well, sounds good. Thank you very much. Have a good
Thanks.
evening.
You too.
The second item before us is at this point, a routine memorandum from our Director of Elder Services, Elise Sinagra, requesting acceptance by the City Council of donations in the amount today of $1,495 from the following listed individuals who I will name during the course of the motion. Are there any questions at this point before I get into that? Any discussion?
As far as putting a motion on the table?
I will do so. And that is to move that the City Council, move that the Budget and Finance Committee recommend that the City Council accept cash donations under Mass General Law 4453A to support the Council on Aging in the amount of $1,495 from the following members and business partners within our community. And these are Charles and Karen Rembert, Irene and Paul Clement, Sal and Josephine Testaverde, Marge Melanson, Sandra Murphy, Michael Gaynor, Athena McInnes, the Gloucester Lodge of Elks, number 891, and Hazel Ellis for the total amount of $1,495. And I so move.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Councilor Worthley.
Yeah, thank you. So I think it's fantastic that people are donating. And so I think we should continue recognizing that. I do have a question for Kenny. When we look at our budget, we can't obviously count on donations. This is such a small amount of money compared to our budget. I don't want to waste a lot of time on it, but conceptually, is this reducing our need for, basically, does this donation reduce our costs in the city, our expenses in the city?
Through the chair, I view this as more supplemental. So this is more of what we weren't doing before and we're doing more now and through the city. I believe a lot of these funds previously were going through the Friends, and now a lot of it's coming through the city as a donation. So there's a separate fund, separate account that all the revenues, all the deposits go into, and then there's purchase orders, expenses that go out. So I view it's supplemental.
And the expenses are discretionary at the discretion of the Elder Services representative, right?
Correct. Yeah, but it has to be COA related.
Of course.
And all those requisitions, they all go through my office. I review them. If I don't feel they're COA related, I would ask for more information.
That's Council on Aging, COA.
Correct.
Tony, do you have a question or comment?
No, just it's great that these people are being so generous.
How about yourself, Jamie? Anything you'd like to add?
No, thank you very much for asking.
As Kenny did comment, I think the reason we're seeing these and it's sort of out of pattern is that the structure has changed somewhat, as I understand it, and the supportive group, the Friends to the Council on Aging and the Friends of the Rose Baker Senior Center have channeled these funds in the general past, but it's being handled now through the Senior Center itself and this relatively newly constituted city account. Is that correct, Kenny?
That is correct.
So it's not that they're all new funds, but it's a new way of booking them and monitoring them.
Correct.
Right. If there are no further questions, I'll go ahead and, well, I've made the motion.
Motion on the
We're ready to
table.
vote, I think. Roll call vote. Councilor Gross,
Yes.
Councilor Worthley,
Yes.
Councilor Memhard, yes. Motion passes on a vote of 3-0 unanimously in support of these wonderful contributions to the Council on Aging and our Rose Baker Senior Center and all the programming that they offer for our seniors, of which a couple of us are getting into the classification of. Yeah,
Tony's almost there.
well, he's creeping up on it.
I got my little card.
Yeah, we monitor it by new body parts generally, right, Tony?
Yeah, that's right. I got plenty of them.
This may be the shortest city council standing committee meeting I've ever been a part of.
I'm not
No.
done yet.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry. We have the overdrawn account.
so those are the two items that we needed to vote upon, and we now have the memorandum from our city auditor regarding accounts having expenditures which exceed authorization, and the auditor's report, and any other related business. Kenny, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I sent out the report yesterday afternoon. You can see that in the report, it's about 3 pages, about 50 some odd accounts. The majority are the school. I think it's normal this type of year. There's a lot of, movement. I did talk to school CFO. I did talk to Gary yesterday about it. And there's a lot of teachers they're moving around. They're working with HR and making sure that the teachers are in the right school, right account. So it's going to take perhaps a payroll to flush this all through. But I can tell you overall, the school, they're a bottom line. There's plenty of funds, overall. I checked yesterday, there's still $10 million of remaining funds available to be encumbered. So again, this is just the beginning of the fiscal year. School just started this week, and then they're still trying to line up all the teachers, all the staff to the correct account. So it takes time to flesh out. As far as on the city side, in the health department, we did have a retirement. So there'll be I'm sure there'll be a transfer either internally for that. That's for Max Schenk that retired. The fire department did communicate to us there will be an internal transfer to cover the workers' comp. And then they also did have a retirement as well in the fire department. And the same thing with police, there'll be a transfer to take care of that. The city clerk, there's been an internal transfer to take care of that. If you remember, this is for the election. It was actually transferred to the wrong account. It needs to be transferred again, but that'll be done internally. So that should go away in the next report. I know the salaries in the treasurer's office, I know they were going to look at that. There might be an error in the encumbrance total. Purchasing, again, there was an error in the encumbrance total, so that's been since corrected. And there is a small, deficit in the mayor's office. They did have an intern or a temporary staff person working this summer, so I'm sure they'll transfer that internally to cure that. So maybe that's a little bit more comprehensive than you were looking for, but I just wanted to, to let you know, the report. So
Thank
it
you.
is 10 pages. You're welcome.
It was a big list when we saw it. I'm sure all appreciate that detail. Any other questions by counselors?
Yeah, I do. Kenny, this is me when I was on the school side. This always bothered me, and it's sort of bothering me now that we even include the schools in this report, because they're in charge of their own budget. There's absolutely zero actions that we should be taking on these. And I mean, I did call the school CFO today because I just picked out one that was considerable. It's the 6th one down on page 2 of O'Malley regular teachers professional, and it says here that it's $340,336.66 overdrawn. But today it's actually $4,269 in the good. So I think that having these kind of things is really not helpful. For this information to be, it's like, what's going on with, we've had a lot of problems with public perception about schools and not having stuff that's really even necessary for us to have. I know previous city councils, just because they kind of were in people's business, wanted to have it, but I don't see how this is helping us at all. And it's definitely not helping the schools having this kind of perceptive thing out there where we can explain it, but when people get this raw data without an explanation, it's a little difficult. So I'd be all in favor of not including the schools in this report.
And that's totally up to the committee. Just this report was only sent out yesterday to the committee. So as we mentioned, these numbers, they continually change. Sometimes there's errors, and as I mentioned, sometimes the teachers are moving to the correct account. But it's up to the committee. If you want me to remove the school, I can. It's just something historically that we've always done.
Councilor Worthley, do you have a point of view on this?
I don't. First of all, thank you, Tony, for bringing that to our attention. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
I think there might be a point in time where we'd want to know if they needed help figuring something out, but I'm going to trust Gary and Kenny to figure that part out. The only question I have is, does our charter require it? I'm looking that up real quickly to see if there's
No.
some regulation that does. And
There are such discrete entities, I don't see how they could, but that's a good thing to check.
No, I'm 99.99% sure that it's not, that there's no charter, there's certainly no DOR. But also there was another thought I had that just escaped me, but anyway.
I was just going to add, if the total over a budget was over, I would definitely alert you. If
Right.
the total bottom line was over, because that would be, whether it's in the report or not, it's something that, would concern me, and I would let you know. But I feel right now, we have the controls in place for that not to happen.
Yeah, I just remembered, if I can, I just remember what I was going to say is the relationship between the cities and the schools as far as accurate accounting goes. It's never been better between both the treasurer's office and the city auditor's office and the school CFO office. It's never been better and more transparent. So,
And you're certainly in a position to be able to testify to that, Tony.
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I don't see it say, it says that he has to report the overdrawn account, but it doesn't say school department. So
Yeah, I'd be satisfied not to include the school report. I think sounds like the unanimous sense of the Budget and Finance Committee. Is that correct?
yes.
All right, Tony. All right, Kenny.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thank you, Kenny.
While we're talking about that, has Gary had any luck replacing Cody?
We're working on that. I've been helping Gary with the interview process. He has a committee, so I'm on the committee.
Good.
I think we've conducted about 4 or 5 interviews. It's a tough labor market. It's tough. But I think, soon I believe we will find someone and be able to fill that position, which is, it's a key important role in his department. That also works with our department, and Cody was a great asset to the school. I really enjoyed working with him. I'm glad to see he's still with the school department on the IT side, but we surely do miss him on the finance side and working with him. He was definitely an asset. I'm still happy to see that he's still with the school department.
Right.
Yeah, he really was. It's going to be hard to fill his role. He'd been there for a while. So, but no one's irreplaceable.
Hopefully not.
Yes.
Sherry, talking about being irreplaceable, is your office survived from Tuesday night and putting this first primary to bed?
We can hear you.
Oh, can you hear me? I said I'm glad it's over, but November's right around the corner.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah, the amount of extra work is my first bigger election since I've been here. And wow, didn't realize how much.
Well, thank you to you and your office for
Yeah.
all done to make that smooth.
Yeah, we work well. We work well together. So
I'd like to ask, when is the slow time for the city clerk's office?
well, it's only my year and a half in. I would say around Christmas time, I guess.
Have you
No.
seen it ever slow, Scott or Tony? Seems like it's every day around.
Yeah, we're always busy.
Busy place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in there the other day and somebody had an appointment to get married. So it's
Yeah.
active place, a lot of significant events going on for people in their lives.
Yeah.
At the clerk's office at Gloucester City Hall. Sounds like a Virginia Lee Burton child story.
Mm.
If there's no other business, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote. Councillor Gross,
yes.
Councillor Worthley,
Yes.
Councillor O'Hara, would you like to extend a little longer? Or are you content to let us go?
Yeah, good night.
You
Thank
too.
you. Thank you. Yeah, I
Night,
say yes
everybody.
as well. So thank you all. Have a wonderful evening. It's a nice one.
Yep.
Night.
Not everyone.
Good
Thank you.
night.
See you guys. See you, Sherry.